Walt Disney Educational Media Company presents Winnie the Pooh and the Right Thing to Do, in which Roo learns not to destroy property. One morning, baby Roo awakened much earlier than usual. It was so early, in fact, that no one else was awake yet. Well, no one except the birds that lived in the 100-acre wood. So Roo dressed himself and thought about going outdoors to play.
Why not?
Thought Roo.
I can find lots to do until it's time for breakfast.
So Roo opened the door very quietly so as not to disturb Kanga, and closed the door just as quietly, and hopped right over to the sandy place where he liked to play.
Whee!
Said Roo on the way up.
Ooh.
Said Roo on the way down.
Oh.
Said Roo as he landed.
This isn't much fun. I think I'd rather play on my jungle gym.
First he played right side up. Then he played upside down, and up and down, and up and down, and finally...
Oh. Gee whiz. This isn't much fun either. I guess it isn't fun to play all alone before everyone is up. And besides, I'm getting hungry.
So he decided to look for fun somewhere else. And since it was the very first time Roo had ever ventured out by himself, he did not know his way around the 100-acre wood.
That looks like Roo,
said Eeyore as Roo hopped by.
I wonder what he's doing out so early. And why is he alone? Maybe I should follow him, just to see what the little fella is up to.
And before he knew it, Roo had arrived at Rabbit's house.
Oh, I know where I am. This is Mr. Rabbit's house. But I guess he isn't awake yet either. I'll just wait for him in here. This is much more fun than hopping around my house and playing on my jungle gym and being all alone and hungry.
And just as Roo said that, his little hand caught hold of a carrot top. And there he was, right in the middle of Rabbit's garden, holding in his little hand...
breakfast!
When Roo had finished eating the carrot and saw how easy it was to get more, he began leaping about wildly, uprooting everything in sight.
Whee! Oh, this is fun! Oh! 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 Oh, hello, Mr. Eeyore.
Hello, Roo.
Isn't this fun?
I suppose so, if you think it is.
Oh, it is. Thank you for catching me. That's a nice tail you have there.
I'm glad you like it. It isn't much, but I'm sort of attached to it.
Where are we going, Mr. Eeyore? Are you taking me home?
That's where I'm taking you.
Good. When we get there, would you stay for a while and play with me? Isn't this a nice morning? Aren't you having fun? I think this is wonderful.
Now it happened that Kanga had just that moment opened the door to call Roo.
Roo? Roo? Oh, there you are.
Good morning, Mother.
Have you been out riding with Eeyore?
Well, sort of, Mother.
You might say we found each other.
How nice of you to entertain Roo. Eeyore, would you like to join us for breakfast?
Oh, it was nothing. And thank you for your offer, but I've already had my breakfast. I have to be going now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. What's for breakfast, Mother?
I have a surprise for you, dear. Your favorite breakfast food.
Oh, goody.
And so, while Roo was gobbling up his favorite breakfast food, Eeyore was on his way back to see the damage in Rabbit's garden. You might say he was returning to the scene of the crime.
I wonder if Rabbit has seen it yet.
Eeyore said to himself. And no sooner had the thought passed through his mind when Eeyore got his answer.
Oh, no! 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 No!
And the closer Eeyore came, the more he heard.
Why would someone have done such a thing? Why? Why? Why?
Why indeed, Rabbit?
This is private property, my private property. No one has the right to touch anyone else's property without permission. And this, a total disaster. Everything ruined. A whole year's work gone to waste. Everything I planted. Now what shall I do?
This is terrible.
I can't stand it.
So Rabbit sat down and tried to figure out the meaning of it all.
Hello, Rabbit.
Oh, hello, Eeyore. Why would anyone do such a thing? Why? If I find out who did this, oh, I don't know what I'll do.
Oh, dear.
Eeyore watched his friend stomp away and thought to himself,
This is worse than I thought it was. Maybe I'd better not tell Rabbit that Roo did this to his garden. After all, Roo is only a little fella, and he didn't mean any harm.
But as Eeyore walked along, he was very troubled.
On the other hand, it is wrong to damage other people's property, no matter who does it, no matter why. But if I tell Rabbit who ruined his garden, he'll be furious. And I heard him say with my own eyes that if he finds out who did it, he doesn't know what he'll do. That sounds serious. Oh, dear. What does Eeyore know about things like this? What a problem.
Did I hear you say you have a problem, old chap?
Oh, hello, Owl. Nice day, isn't it?
It's a lovely day, Eeyore. What problem?
Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all.
This seems to be a day of problems for everyone. Have you seen Rabbit? He is in a terrible state. From what I could understand, it seems someone has uprooted his entire garden. A terrible thing.
That's a coincidence, because Rabbit's garden is my problem, too.
I don't think I understand.
Well, not exactly. You see, I know who ruined Rabbit's garden.
Well, then, all of your problems are solved. You can tell Rabbit who did it, and he can take care of the culprit.
That's my problem. I can't tell him, Owl.
But if you know who did it, why would you not tell?
That's tattling. It's not easy to tattle on a friend.
A friend?
And besides, Rabbit might...
Might what?
I don't know, but he didn't sound happy when he saw his garden.
A friend, eh? I see your point, Eeyore. But we can't just let this go without a word.
We can't?
No, we can't. We owe it to Rabbit to bring everything out in the open. I have it. Let's call a meeting and discuss it. We'll invite everyone. Maybe someone will think of another solution. What do you say, Eeyore?
I say, okay.
And so it was decided. Owl flew first to invite Winnie the Pooh, who was very sorry to hear about Rabbit's garden and agreed to join the meeting. Then Owl invited Kanga, who also went right along to the meeting place. Eeyore had no trouble convincing Piglet to attend. But Rabbit did pose somewhat of a problem, feeling as bad as he did. In the end, though, he went along. And before long, they'd all gathered in the clearing. Owl, whose idea it had been in the first place, presided over the meeting.
Thank you all for attending. It seems that a mishap has befallen our dear friend Rabbit. Someone has pulled up his whole garden.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Rabbit.
That's too bad, Rabbit. Oh, dear.
Oh.
How unfortunate, Rabbit. Do you know who did it?
No.
But Eeyore does. He saw the entire incident. Isn't that right, Eeyore?
You know who did it? Who? Who did it? Tell me. Who? Who?
Please, try to remain calm, Rabbit.
There, Rabbit. We understand how you feel. Please try to relax.
Yes, please.
Eeyore, I have a question.
Yes, Pooh?
If you know who did it, why don't you just tell us and get it over with?
That's the express purpose of this meeting, Pooh. I'll let Eeyore explain.
That would be tattling, Pooh.
Tattling?
Yup. Snitching. Telling on a friend.
But if you don't tell Rabbit, and if the one who ruined his garden gets away with it, how will he ever learn to respect other people's property?
I have an idea.
Yes, Piglet? What is it?
I think Eeyore should go to the one who did it and have a talk with him and explain it was the wrong thing to do and convince him to go to Rabbit and tell him himself. And that's my idea.
That's a very good idea, Piglet.
I'd say splendid. A splendid idea.
But what would happen then? What would you do, Rabbit?
Well, I'd...
Yes, Rabbit?
If the person apologized and offered to help me replant the garden, I'd forgive him.
Well, Eeyore, will you talk to the culprit?
All right. I'll go right after the meeting and tell the person everything we said.
You don't have to make a special visit, Mr. Eeyore. I heard it already.
No!
Yes, I'm the culprit. And I am sorry, Mr. Rabbit. I'd feel terrible, too, if someone destroyed my property. I know it was the wrong thing to do, and I do want to help you plant your garden again, if you'll let me. Will you, Mr. Rabbit? Will you let me help you?
And so it was settled. And that day, everyone learned a very important lesson about tattling and owning up. And most importantly, about respecting other people's property. It was also decided that everyone would join in and help replant Rabbit's garden, which was a group project they all enjoyed, especially Winnie the Pooh.